Everything you are going to see here has been created, but I didn't have to design a single thing. I'm going to teach you about a tool today, not AI, but an algorithm. And you and I are going to make 2 projects together, even if you're a beginner.
Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. Everything you saw in the introduction to this video actually made with the same tool. It's free. I'm not using any AI. You don't have to download anything. And if all of that sounds good, keep listening. So I'm going to be speaking to any brand of laser user. If you have a diode, great. If you have a CO2, great. It doesn't matter. We're going to be able to create a project together using this free tool. But speaking of your laser, go ahead and drop your laser make, model, and wattage below so that I can better develop tutorials that support you.
You are going to go to Atomm.com and you're going to create a free account. That's where we start.
You are going to need some sort of material. I am going to be using 3mm or 1/8 inch basswood. You can use acrylic for these projects as well. Whatever you decide to use, you need to have that on hand. If you are going to create one of the fitted projects, this means like this lantern is not built with glue, you just simply pop it in, right? That will need a micro measurement tool. These are calipers that I got on Amazon. They do imperial and metric for my American friends. We don't have to convert anything. If you have an engineering ruler, the little tiny metal rulers with micro measurements, you can also use that. If you don't have it, don't worry. You can create a whole bunch of projects without it. Okay? Even layered projects like this. You just want it when you're working with kerf or anything fitted or slotting into each other with slots and tabs. All right, what else? If you are using or creating a multi-layer project, you will need some sort of adhesive. For the most part, cyanoacrylate, any super glue, wood glue, those work really well. I'm likely going to be putting 3M 467, which is an adhesive tape you put on the back of your material, whether it's acrylic or wood. You put it on the back of your material, then you load the material into the laser, and then you cut it. Now, why that's beneficial is because it's like a sticker. You just pull off the backing and stick the layers together, very similar to this football candy dish. However, this is just glued together. Okay, so you can use whatever adhesive you have on hand for these projects. We need something to access the tool, which is online. I am going to be using my computer and recording every screen action that I make so that you can emulate it and you can craft right along with me today. I'm in comfy clothes and it's a gray day, so let's just start making something.
So after you have either created an account or logged in, you're going to know you have something up here in the profile, and that will be what will allow you to download the actual files. As mentioned, we're going to go to the Creative Lab, and now there's a lot of stuff in here, but what we want to focus on is this generator. It says beta right next to it right now because we are testing it. So inside of here, there's a lot. Some of these projects I've already shown you, and you can choose any of these. There's no limit to you. I am going to open up multiple projects. Before we get started on our build, I just want to show you that all of these projects are going to be built the same way. So when you open up these projects, you're going to see a canvas. All of them will have 2 views at the top. One is an assembly view. You can move it all around. And number 2 is a flat view, which will give you what the program will actually output. So these are the cut. We can choose between metric and imperial. And then this top section of parameters is what every single one of these tools will have. So it doesn't matter if it's a lantern and a 3D kerf build. It doesn't matter if it is a single flat item like these lollipop holders. You can see this top section is the same, and you just build stuff based on a series of sliders. No matter how simple or complicated a project may be, this is all going to be the same at the very top. Now the next couple of sections are going to be different depending on the model. So here you can see I can change a pattern from a star to a heart. It will automatically change right here in this view. However, different models have different detail settings. So this one will be the ties, the size, the placement. And even on our third example here, that will be a different change as well. So if we look at the heart tea light display, we can change the wall thickness down here amongst other things. And again, this is real time. When I change it in the slider, I automatically get to see what it looks like. The section below that will always usually be material, and you can change it here or in your software. Depending on the project, you're going to have either material thickness or material thickness and kerf. If you have an offset kerf right below it, you will also have a slot sizer test file that you can cut right before you cut your project to value that kerf if you do not know what your kerf's value is. So I am going to choose a project I have not done so that you and I can do it together. I'm going to choose this flower generator, which looks to be, oh, it's got writing and a 2-layer maybe? Let's see, create new. Oh, that's kind of cool. So I just choose a flower. Okay, I'm going to choose a monstera leaf. Okay. Now let's go to the leaf. I don't want a leaf. Can we take away a leaf? Oh, we can. Oh, nice. Okay, so stem length 200. Oh, look how cute that is. Okay, so it doesn't look like this one is millimeter. Okay. But, oh, you could choose a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's see. And then the text. I just want a lowercase text. Oh, okay. Well, then that means I can. Okay. Oh, vertical too. Okay, that's nice. Let's do that. What does this mean? Text adjustment, outline. I don't know what that means. Let's do that. Let's make that. Letter spacing. I'm okay with it. Ew. I'm okay with it at 0. Let's put it back. Font size. Cute. This is nice. Okay, so we only have one style. All right, now that we have our piece, here is where you can download it for the SVG, and here's where we're going to open in Studio. Let's see. The image is keep size. Thank you. All right, so I obviously want to make this a little bit smaller. So it looks like it's grouped together. So let's ungroup it first of all. Let's take this one and make it, let's make this one black. And then I want to highlight both of these and then just align them. I see. And then now I'm going to make it smaller because no one needs a 20-inch. Goodness. I don't know. Maybe like what are the sizes? I don't know. 10? Maybe a 10-inch? That's 100. That's 1,000. All right, so now we have two pieces here, it looks like. I'm going to indicate both of those two pieces is cut. And now I'm going to connect my xTool P2 55 watt. You can see up on the very top here, that is backed with 3M, the adhesive tape. So I'm only going to do the top layer. Choose honeycomb. I'm going to choose my material, and then I'm going to auto measure my distance. And then I'm going to use the close-up camera to position my piece and set my settings. For this one, I ran 80/18, but honestly, I probably should have run it at a little bit more close to 80/21. However, it took 3 minutes and 14 seconds to run this piece. Here it is at actual time with the 3M on the back. And then when that was done, you can see 314. When that was done, I then put in another piece of basswood ply. It took 40 seconds to run that. I painted, I pulled the adhesive tape off, and here it is. I probably should have sanded it, but here it is. Okay, so I will put in a video of him without me holding it because I've got a weird light right now. But here you go. Isn't it cute? Okay, in the back. So you can see, it's kind of hard to show you the back. There you go. So as dirty as my honeycomb is, I thought it would have stuff on the back, but it doesn't. Okay, so now I have this piece of plywood that we use for our second cut with no 3M adhesive on the back. So let's figure out another project to make together. Okay, so I'm back on the Creative Lab. I'm going to do this fidget heart keychain because it's calling me. My daughter loves fidgets. Now I'm going to look at the flat layout because I think I know how this is built with some pegs and 3 layers. Indeed it is. I'm going to actually leave everything as the same size because I kind of understand this. I'm going to hit basswood plywood. I'm going to put in my material thickness, but I'm going to put kerf to 0. Trust me. Do that. Open in Studio. That took no design because I didn't change anything. All right, once it opens in Studio, we're actually not going to work with this. Okay, let my P2 refresh here. So we're actually not going to work with this yet. There's a lot of pieces to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this into a working canvas and I'm going to build on that one. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn everything off. We're not ready yet. And the second thing I'm going to do is set up my files. So I'm going to do honeycomb, I'm going to do basswood plywood. I'm going to change all of that to cut even though the output is off. My 20-second tip is to take and make 1-inch square or 25.4 millimeter. That's it. That is going to be your cut, your very first cut. So now you can set settings for that. So I'm going to change that to cut processing 80/22, I think is what I use on this. Yeah. And then I'm not changing anything with kerf because I'm going to figure out my kerf exactly. So the first thing before I place it, I need to go ahead and measure my distance. Once I have that distance in, I can use that close-up camera to make sure I'm not hanging off the edge or something dramatic. There we go. Delete the close view, and now we process this. This is it. This right here is going to save you so much headache. So 12 seconds to process that. Take it immediately out. Watch. We're going to put it on the table. Now, this is hard to do, so I apologize. I actually dropped my phone or my camera when I was recording this. So I'm just going to use those. And look, I'm just on the edge, 25.23. Remember that number. We're going to, you don't have to do this by the way, but I'm going to type right here so you can see what I'm doing. We take our original square, 25.4 mil, minus our 25.23 cut, and that gives us X. We then take X and divide by 2. So let me do my math right over here on my calculator. And when you get that, you get 0.17. Divide that by 2, you get 0.085. That is our kerf. That's what you need to do. We're going to cut another square, turn on the toggle for kerf, and type in 0.085. You're going to understand why I'm just angry enough it doesn't go one more decimal point in a second. So turn off everything else, your original square, any text you happen to add, and cut the second square. Does anyone else do this? Look at this tiny little piece. I have to break it. Oh, it's so satisfying. Anyway, now I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to take the same calipers and I'm going to measure it. Now watch. I'm going to do this with one hand, Sarah. There we go. 25.39. Isn't that enough just to make you angry? But I tell you what, it's going to work. Our kerf is set. So we know that 0.085 is our kerf. I'm going to refresh, and now I'm going to actually set up my file. I'm going to turn off the square that we just cut, and now I'm just going to move these into place. I'm going to do a -90 degree, and then I'm going to turn off my background. You don't have to do this. This is just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to ungroup everything and group all of these individual sets together so I don't lose any pieces. And then I'm going to set the parameters. So we are going to cut at 80/22, turn on the kerf offset, and type in 0.085. And now I want to explain something for beginners. Before you hit process, you can come down to this preview option. This is a validation of sorts that your material settings will work. So if I change them to something ridiculous, you will get this error. Always a good idea to check. And now we can turn our background back on and actually place our pieces. So that's all I'm going to do here is just place everything into our spot and process that. Now, once that is processed, I will tell you, always grab a piece of masking tape or something to grab all those pegs. They will fall through the honeycomb. So I'm just going to grab those right here and pull everything out. All right. So I did wipe it down with some alcohol. I don't even know it was on my desk. I think I did. Here you go. There, it's clean, but it's not sanded. All I had was that 300 grit, and I'm not going to sand this thing with 300 grit. So now to assemble this, I just want to show you how it's going to go together. Flat piece, big gear, then you have the top and the bottom, and then the little gear, and you'll put the other one on top. But the trick, so you don't make yourself angry, is just set in all the pegs, put it down on the table, and build it up from that. I mean, they're in there, right? So you can see they're not moving. So you can just go ahead and build it on top. Let me hold these to show you in the back. See, we got to push that one forward because it was too far back, but you can just put it on the table and push. There you go. Pop on the top, and then I'm going to show you that it really, really does spin, and it really stays together because you have your kerf set. Okay, ready? And you can hold it by the top too, but look. Look. Okay, I should have sanded it in real light. You can see natural light. Ooh, that looks bad. But that is it. This is an easy project. And honestly, if you want to play with kerf, really fun, really quick build. So these are all my projects that I made with the parametric builder on Atom. I would love to hear your thoughts. Which of these was your favorite project? Which of these are you excited to try? Have you ever calculated the kerf for your material with your laser? Let me know down below. I hope I eased some anxieties about that and gave you a couple ideas. Thanks for watching, and follow along for more.